Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast called Molecules to Mindset, where science meets everyday life. I'm your host, Ivani Verma, and today we will explore fascinating ways in which science and healthcare touches every part of our daily lives, from the molecules that make up our bodies to our thoughts and attitudes that shape our experience. We're here to dive into it all. So every episode, we're going to tackle episodes breaking down complex scientific concepts into something that we can all relate and use. We'll chat with experts, share real life stories, and discover how health and science are not just topics for researchers and doctors, but are integral parts of our daily lives. So whether you're looking to understand more about your health, interested in the latest scientific discoveries, or just curious about how the world works, Molecules to Mindset has something for you. And so join us and explore the science of life and the art of living as well, one episode at a time. With that, I would like to begin by introducing our very first guest, Aileen. So Aileen is the founder of Joyful Connections, and Aileen brings her passion for promoting positivity and human connection to life through wellness and workshops and programs. And she is a dedicated workshop facilitator, certified laughter yoga instructor, and a proud mother of four. As a graduate of McGill University's Bachelor in Social Work, which happened in 2005, she got a diploma in special care counseling. With 20 years of experience with working with older adults or seniors in the community and government settings, Aileen is a strong advocate for combating isolation and loneliness among seniors. Her focus is on promoting active, healthy aging and creating more opportunities for social connection. Through Joyful Connections, she extends her reach, offering those uplifting workshops and programs to various organizations across Quebec and Canada. Aileen's mission is clear. She wants to spread joy, laughter, and positive energy while fostering meaningful connections. So with that, Aileen, welcome, and thank you so much for joining today.
Thanks so much, Ivani. I'm really excited to be here and to do this with you. And thank you so much I just feel really honored to be your first guest.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. First off, I was just wondering, can you maybe tell the listeners a little bit about what inspired you to become an advocate for the elderly?
Sure. Well, I think it started, my gosh, back in when I was 14. I remember in high school and doing volunteer work at St. Mary's Hospital and visiting the geriatric floor and just doing weekly visits, friendly visiting. And that's where I really, I guess, found a calling, or I just have this passion to want to help seniors and older adults. And so fast forward, I went into a 3-year technical program called Special Care Counseling at Vanier College. And my last year's stage was at a day center for seniors who are still living in the community. It still exists now, and I have so much love for it, St. Margaret's Day Center. And so a lot of the seniors, they would come in for the day and do really fun and interesting, stimulating activities that really, help with stimulation of the mind, the brain, physical activities. And so I was an educator there. And then from there, it was my stage supervisor at the time, Rita Bonar. I just had to have a shout out to her. And she was the one who inspired me. And she said, Aileen, you got to go forward, move forward, and continue your education on and go into social work. And so of course, I wanted to also. And so it was very interesting. When I was at McGill, I remember a class of 50. All of my classmates, they really wanted to work with families and youth. And I think there was only 5 of us, including me, who really wanted to work with the elderly population. And I knew, even going into my different stage placements, that it is a good idea to try various different clienteles to work with, which I did. I did that in my experience at Vanier College. So I just knew right away. I told the stage coordinator, and said, I know I want to work with seniors. And so fast forward again, I've had my experience, in working with seniors in the community. So working for the Yellow Door, it's a nonprofit community organization, doing my stage at the MAB, Montreal Association for the Blind. And my actual social work position was working at a CLSC in Montreal for about 7 years. in the home care service department as a case manager. So um, a tough job career, but very rewarding in that I would be managing about 65 cases of seniors who are still living at home, who would have some kind of loss of autonomy. So, working with people with suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's disease. Some seniors would be living at home or with their loved one or with families. So offering support and care, being the first person to go in and assess their situation. And with all of my experience in working with seniors, I've learned so much.
Mhm.
And it was, during my maternity leave, my first year of maternity leave, I felt that I was really missing my connection in working with seniors and helping others. And so I tried something completely different and stepped out of my comfort zone. And so I live in Laval, and there are not that many programs for seniors who are Anglophone programs. And so I offered this one program. I did not create this, but it's a program that's well known. It's called Jog Your Mind, where it offers tips and tricks for stimulating the mind and keeping the memory intact. And so I found I got 12 seniors to join the group, and it was really just a test, a trial. And so I gathered the seniors together. And so it's a 10-week program and so it was from this one workshop that I offered, where it was coming towards an end. We were at session number 7, and a lot of the seniors, one of them was asking me, Aileen, like, you have to, it's coming towards an end. You have to create another program, because for us, like, as much as they love, of course, the tips and tricks on how to maintain their memory, they really love the social connection and coming together. A lot of them didn't even know each other. And then throughout this program, they got to create friendships. A lot of them were, some of them were recently widowed or retired. And so for me, it just grew my passion in wanting to offer something that will help seniors come together and create that human connection and social connection, which is vital for everyone today. And it was, again, from that one workshop that really inspired me and motivated me to think and be creative and say, okay, what else can I offer to seniors to really promote active, healthy aging? And from there on, I created another program called Reminiscence and Sharing Our Life Stories, because, seniors, they love, all seniors, they love to talk and share stories. And then later on became certified as a laughter yoga instructor. And that's something that's really, really fun. A lot of people don't know about what laughter yoga is. And so in the last 7 years since I first started, I created many different programs that really focus on healthy, active aging. And it was really interesting that a lot of my work, before starting Joyful Connections, that I was really working with a lot of people who have loss of autonomy, who were in their 70s, 80s, 90s. And now, since I've started Joyful Connections, it's really working on the other side of the spectrum, where I'm working with younger, older adults and seniors. And I really would like to help them maintain the active, healthy living.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting how you're able to see both sides, because I think that it's also important to notice that, being an elderly person doesn't diminish your own autonomy. Of course, there are other like health reasons that can, interfere with that. But I just think that it's interesting how you're also able to see the other side of their perspective, where people are able to remain autonomous. And I think that's really interesting that Joyful Connections allowed you to see that other perspective as well. Kind of
Right.
to that topic, I had another question. So in society, with growing old and elder age, there is a stigma that's around individuals of those age. And
Mm-hmm.
their abilities to participate in activities, pursue new interests, like generally continue living a vibrant and full life. And a
Mhm.
lot of people unfortunately believe that this diminishes and life is expected to almost stand still at old age. So this stereotype kind of undermines the capabilities of potential older adults. And I was just wondering, how do you confront and challenge this stigma in your work? And what strategies do you employ to promote the understanding that life doesn't stop as we age, but, rather continues to be rich with opportunities, growth, and joy?
Yeah, great question. Well, I'll include you, Ivani, because that question makes me think about one of the programs that I started, which is an intergenerational program, and it's called Intergenerational Convos. And I'm very proud of this program because we started about 3 years ago, and you have been a volunteer of mine for almost 3 years, I believe. And it's such a fun program where we bring young adults and seniors together, and we meet on a weekly basis online on Zoom. I'm very proud of my seniors who, there are everyone, so many seniors who are online and Zooming.
That's true.
And yeah, and so it's really great that we have volunteers from across Canada and seniors. We come together for 90 minutes, and it's a really fun discussion group where we're talking and sharing life stories. We have different topics. And so the seniors, it's very interesting, the seniors who are part of my group, so they are all still very independent, living at home, living in the community. And I love that whenever we have a new volunteer, well, I'll use you, Avani, as an example. Usually I meet one-on-one with our volunteers, and I get excited to share that I always give our volunteers a warning, like, okay, just so that you know, these seniors, I'm not sure again of what idea or perception all of you volunteers had of seniors, but I said, these seniors are amazing. Just for example, some of the seniors, um, we have an 83-year-old who she lives alone. She doesn't have any family here. Her one daughter moved away, and she still keeps very busy and independent by being part of a book club every week. And she's part of our discussion group. She goes to church, so she's very much involved in the community. I have another senior, he's married, living with his wife, and he's been married 62 years. And he goes cross-country skiing, like in his backyard. He lives in Rosemere, Laval. And he walks daily. He does crossword puzzles. So I would say all of the seniors in our program, they are just such an inspiration of what active aging means, or living a healthy life. Just because I know, even for myself, before going into social work or before my work with seniors, and I know a lot of people also, they have this perception. I love, Avani, that you brought up when we were discussing the questions, but you brought up the movie Up, which
Hmm.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It is a great movie, and it really depicts how a lot of people associate old people as, oh, grumpy, and they're so slow moving, or they're losing their memory, and because they're retired, they're no longer
Hmm.
contributing to society, or they have no more value or worth, and they're just kind of pushed aside. Whereas I'm trying my very best, even if it's this program, I see and I witness how you as a volunteer and our other volunteers, maybe you're even surprised in the beginning to see all of these seniors and how active they are and how much knowledge that they have and wisdom. I learned so much from them.
For sure.
Um, and not only are our young adult volunteers learning from the seniors, but the seniors are learning so much from all of you too. And it's just a beautiful, it's something beautiful to observe as a facilitator, and kind of being in the middle of the age between 20 years old and I would say 85. And we just have really interesting topics that we discuss, even fun topics on dating and what was your childhood like and what was downtown Montreal like in the 1950s. Um, Talking about a party line, like I learned what a party line is on the phone or the rotary phone. And um, so, yeah, it's just I want everyone to have an open mind
Mhm.
that seniors, they have so much to offer. And there's another woman who I'm thinking about also, and she's 76 years old. And every week she's in charge of providing, it's a lunch program. And she has a whole team that they cook a meal together for 40 seniors, and they get together every week.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that's so interesting that you bring up the fact that, we learn from them because that is so true. It's not a unidirectional relationship, it's definitely bi-directional. And I think that's one of the things that make joyful connections, the intergenerational conversation so meaningful. And to touch up on the other point that you made up as well about up, I totally agree. And I think that like understanding why maybe they act a certain way could be beneficial and almost becoming more empathetic towards them because even to use as an example in the movie Up, that elderly man, he was losing his house and he had lost his wife. So, there are like lots of different things that factor into the situation. It's a complex situation. And I think that, we as the younger generation should be empathetic of that and should try to understand things from their perspective. Um, and we shouldn't just always run with the idea of, elderly people or for example, maybe not autonomous or are in grumpy moods because, like you just described with the 83-year-old woman, she has a purpose and she does so much within her community. And I think that that's really important to understand that there's different facets to the spectrum, and there's not only one type of person that we should base all of our stereotypes off of. So we should learn to be a little bit more inclusive. And yeah, I think that's a really interesting points that you brought up about that.
Yes. And Ivani, I just want to say when you said, I was just like, yes, with the being empathetic and being compassionate, like show
Mm,
seniors and elderly compassion. And just you touched on something really important about um, different transitions that seniors are going through. So
mhm.
even retirement, that's a loss, and some people will grieve.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes there's like that loss of identity. I know a woman, she is in our group and she's a retired teacher. And for her, that was really, really hard for
Mm,
her to retire. And then at the same time, losing her husband, sometimes moving, having to downsize
mm,
their home or moving into a residence. So
mm.
there's so many factors
Yeah.
that our seniors are going through, and just to be more, like you said, empathetic, compassionate. And one thing also that everybody should be aware of, or maybe everyone already knows, but we're all aging. We're
Yep.
all get there. And so I hope that, yeah, I hope and pray that I'll be able to live the good long life that we are observing a lot of our seniors in the programs that I run with Joyful Connections.
Yeah, that's a great point. Everybody ages, so it's
Mm,
worth
it's a
learning a little bit about and learning to empathize with them for sure. Yeah, I think those are great points. Um, Another topic that I also wanted to discuss with you was something more of like a new hot topic about social prescribing. So, so just for the viewers, social prescribing is basically a unique approach that's gaining traction in healthcare now. So it involves the recommendation of non-medical activities to promote well-being. And in the realm of geriatrics, this could mean connecting older adults to community resources, social groups, or like cultural activities. And since you are involved with this so much, I just wanted to ask, how does social prescribing specifically function with the elderly with your work? And have you witnessed any transformations with the seniors using the social prescribing and notice any changes in their overall quality of life?
Yeah, that's a really good question and a hot topic. And I'm so for it and really supportive of this.
Mhm.
Um, One really great example I can give is I would hope that, or I would like to spread the word to a lot of healthcare professionals and even doctors, nurses, social workers about laughter yoga, which is something that I'm certified in doing, and very proud to say that I have been working with the Montreal Association, the Alzheimer's Society of Montreal.
Right.
And oh gosh, I started back with them in 2004 as an educator.
Wow.
But yeah, but then as a student. And then it's so interesting, many years later, when I started Joyful Connections, I remember seeing a post on Facebook saying that they're looking for facilitators to offer any kind of activity that would be stimulating for the mind and just good for the body and spirit. And so I approached them and I talked to them about laughter yoga. And so for those of you who don't know, everyone, laughter yoga, it's something that I love. I'm very passionate about. It started in 1995 by a physician named Dr. Madan Kataria in Mumbai, India. And this started years ago where it was randomly in a park with 5 people. And so now laughter yoga is being practiced in about 100 countries. There
Wow.
are 6,000 different laughter clubs. So yes, people actually go and they attend a laughter class, just like going in for a yoga class or a Pilates class for an hour. You can attend a laughter yoga class, and you can do this in person or on Zoom. And so it's been really interesting. So laughter yoga, it's this unique concept where, and it sounds funny, everyone, we laugh for no reason. So I always tell everyone, sorry to disappoint. I'm not telling any jokes, any comedy. See, we're already, this is just, it's a perfect example that laughter is contagious. And so what really it is I don't like to use the word force because that's how it's described. It's forced laughter. So I like to spin it in a more positive way, and that we are laughing, we are choosing to laugh, we're laughing with good intent. We want to feel the positive, good vibes and boost our energy. And so I'm sure, well, everyone, all the viewers, you know how you feel when you're laughing with a group of your friends and how good it feels. So I give a whole lecture on physiological, psychological benefits that laughter has to offer. You know, just to give a few, it's good for the cardiovascular system. It's great for the blood flow. It's bringing oxygen to the brain, and you just feel happier. It's like a workout where we're releasing endorphins. And so every Monday, it's been, oh my gosh, since 2019, I did it in person. And then when COVID hit, the society approached me and asked me, Aileen, is there any way during COVID that you can offer this online? On
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
And it was something new. And I was like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? Because laughter yoga is all about like, we're holding hands, we're going in a circle,
Oh,
we're
okay.
high-fiving each other, and we're laughing.
Interactive. Okay.
Yeah. And so I was like, how are we going to do this online? But the special care counselor in me, I was able to adapt. And I'm very proud to say that we have been, the group is for anyone who has been diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease. It's for caregivers and their loved ones. So sometimes you can just have a caregiver in the group or someone with Alzheimer's dementia. And every Monday from 10:30 to 11:30, we're doing laughter yoga. So we're doing different types of breathing exercises, laughter exercises. We even dance to 2 songs. And it's just a great way to release any stress, any negativity. I love that laughter allows everyone to stay present in the moment. So we can't be busy stressing, thinking about, oh my gosh, what do I have to do? What's on my to-do list? And it just leaves everyone feeling really good, more energetic, and really positive. So I am a huge believer that laughter yoga, it really does work. I've seen the benefits and also the changes with people, even in the beginning of a session, how some people can look and feel like really tight and rigid and feel stressed. And even at the end of the session, I'll get feedback saying, oh, like I'm feeling lighter. I feel like I have more energy. I was really tired going into this
Definitely
session.
see the differences. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's one That's one program that I offer, and it's for anyone. Again, it's
Free too, right? It's so anyone can
and
join.
it's free. Yes. So all you have to do is contact the Alzheimer's Society of Montreal.
Mhm.
Um, Google that, and all you have to do is register, and then you can attend. It's a free program. So for
I think
caregivers.
that that's so great that it's so inclusive and it's not only limited to those who are living with Alzheimer's, but also includes the caregivers too, because like you're saying, like if you it's such an interactive experience. So I think that's great that the caregiver and the person living with Alzheimer's also gets to, connect on that level too in such a
Mhm.
positive environment. So I think that that's a great example of social prescribing and how that's influenced their lives for sure.
Yeah. Just I wanted to share, with Joyful Connections. So I offer laughter yoga. There's different programs, and I just sharing the different programs with you before we were doing this. It touches on different aspects of our well-being. Tuesdays I do kind of a fun trivia and brain games with seniors, and we do it online, or we play categories and Trivial Pursuit and Boggle. And then Wednesdays are intergenerational convos, where it's a great discussion group, and we're connecting socially. I also am part of like a walking program,
Wow.
walking in nature, and we know how it's like ecotherapy, just to be out in nature, getting fresh air, exercise, and at the same time, we're chatting and we're laughing. And so all of these different programs, it helps stimulate the mind. Also, we are working the body, so there's
Right.
physical activity there, and then the social connection. Social connection is huge. It's
Mhm.
that there. I'm pretty sure a lot of listeners here have heard loneliness and isolation. It's an epidemic. It's an epidemic
Mhm.
now, and this is why I'm really trying to promote the importance of social activity with our seniors. And if you know of any senior, try and get them to any local community organization, or contact the local CLSC and find out all these different types of resources.
For sure. And because you're saying that it's an epidemic, I agree with that. And I think that, viewers should also be aware of, um, elderly are most susceptible of losing others around them because, their spouses are getting older. Most of their friends are typically around their age too. So, like you said, like it's a very complex situation and we should be aware that, they're more susceptible to loneliness because of their age. So I think that that's really great that you offer so many programs promoting not only the mind and talking, but physically, staying physically active and, fostering those social connections. I think that those are amazing. Um, for the last 10 minutes, I was also wondering if we could talk a little bit about longevity. So, or if there are listeners that are inspired by our conversation, what's one action that they can take today to promote a positive impact on the lives of elders and what they can do to promote their own longevity to remain healthy when they're older?
Hmm. Well, good question. So that the first one being of how to promote longevity with seniors.
Mhm.
Anybody is working with seniors or just comes across a senior, even offering it could be something so simple as to like offering a smile, asking the person, how are they? Um, and if you are working with that senior, it's really nice to ask them a little bit about, tell me about yourself, or where did you grow up, or what did you do, that this person um, had a life, or currently does have a life, but just to get to know them, the person that they are, or even the person that they were. That tells you a lot about who they are right now.
Yeah, those simple gestures can go a long way.
For sure. And I think it's really nice to um, just asking them about themselves. It allows the person to feel seen and heard. Like I think what anybody wants is just to know that they exist and that they are still here and that they can still contribute and they can still offer something.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of the seniors that I've been working with who are still active, they are just amazing. I call them super agers, and that actually is a term. Anyone who's 85 and over, and still living, a healthy, active life as best as they can, are considered healthy, super agers. And this is what working with the seniors, that they'll always say, "Thank you so much, Aileen, for offering these programs or for keeping us together." It's really important. It's really important for them, but I always thank them. I always say it goes hand in hand because I'm learning so much from them.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm trying to think also just for ourselves, and how to maintain an active, healthy
Yeah.
lifestyle. Um, well, I think, well, right now I'm trying to think for myself, and I am doing my best, as a mom of four, 10, 8, 6, and 4, and then also trying to manage joyful connections, um, trying our best to just maintain active, to maintain a healthy balance.
Yeah.
It is impossible to have everything in our life perfectly balanced. And as a Libra, my horoscope sign, I always try my best to have things in balance. But again, to give ourselves grace, to be kind to ourselves and know, like, some days, okay, well, I really excelled in this, but I may have dropped the ball in this a little bit. But all that to say, just, I don't know. Ivani, do you know about the wellness wheel?
You brought it up before in our intergenerational conversations, but you can touch on it.
Well, sure. Like this wellness wheel of different aspects in our life. And it's really interesting. Even if you go and Google the wellness wheel, and you can even rate yourself from 1 to 10, there's finance and education, career, family, friendships, or social. And you can look at it and it'll take even 5 minutes to just reflect and rate yourself, 1 out of 10 as to how you're doing in all these different aspects in your life. And then you can think, okay, well, looks like I'm lacking or I'm a little bit low here on the social with my friends, or I don't have enough time. So then you can think, okay, well, how can I bring this up to at least an 8 out of 10? What can I do?
Yeah.
Um, so just taking the time to reflect,
Mhm.
because I know a lot of our listeners are even students, parents, everybody is busy
Mhm.
today. Oh my God. Everyone is just busy, busy, busy on the go, go, go. And I don't know, time is just going by so fast. So I think making that conscious effort, and making the intention, having that intention to just sit down 5 minutes, with like a notebook or with your phone and go on this wellness wheel and just to reflect and see what you can do to to feel good and happy and have kind of a well balanced life.
Yeah, because I think that what you're saying is totally accurate because you discussed, how the elderly that we still have in our intergenerational conversations are still so active. So I think that by, at a young age, trying to keep balanced, mentally and physically and socially, that if you're able to kind of get a balance of that at a young age, you can bring that to when you're older, and then it's not so much of a change. When like you mentioned, there's different transitions in your life. Like if you retire, you're still going to be practicing the same practices that you did when you're younger. So I think that that is also really important because if your whole life is unbalanced, then for example, once you stop working, then you might ask, what's my purpose? If you're able
Mm.
to like find other things as well, I think that's really important to keep
Mhm.
balance for sure.
For sure. Oh, Ivani, you just reminded me. I
Mhm.
wanted to share with everybody that term. I'm not sure if everyone has ever heard of this term, ikigai, Ikigai, and it's just I love this word because it's a Japanese term that means reason for being.
Mhm.
Oh, I always share with everybody that I feel really grateful and blessed that I feel that I found my ikigai, and
Mm.
that is well, family and being a mom, and at the same time also working with seniors, my passion and love for helping them, and for allowing them to have the opportunity to connect socially with one another. Joyful connections. My mission is very simple. It's just I want to spread more joy, love, and laughter into
Mhm.
our, because I know that our world, it's a tough place to live in, and there's just a lot of negativity. And so if we can try our very best every day to find the positives in our everyday life, that will certainly be a
Yeah.
huge
And I think that that also ties into, for our last couple of minutes, I think that also ties into mental health as well, staying positive, looking at that wellness wheel, finding a purpose. Those things will probably, act as positives towards maintaining our mental health, especially and in old age for those of whom are experiencing loneliness and isolation. Keeping
help.
that purpose, like you mentioned, I think can really help waking up every day and doing something and being fulfilled, I think can have like a tremendous positive input on our mental health. And I think those are all really interesting points you brought up.
Thank you. And I love, Vani, you also made me think of, well, I think you did say it, but gratitude
Mm.
thing, huge. It's definitely a practice of mine where I have it right here. This is my gratitude journal. So I try my very best. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna tell the truth, but I always I share with everyone gratitude. It's a practice, and it
Mm.
can be very life changing. I've been doing this gratitude journal since 2012, and just the simple act of writing three things that you're grateful for, either first thing in the morning or right before going to bed, or anytime during the day where you feel you have a moment to just write these three things. And there is something more powerful when you write it down. You can definitely say it.
So
Sometimes
sorry to
I'll,
cut you off, Eileen. We have less than a minute remaining.
oh, okay. So, yeah, so I just wanted to share gratitude, being grateful for every day, and it helps build resilience as well, and just the practice of joy.
Well, thank you so much, Eileen. I think those are all great points. I want to thank you so much for joining the podcast and being our first guest ever. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Avani, and thanks everyone for listening.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.